Hello and welcome to another video. Basically, I was just sitting here at the table behind me doing some work, like staring out at the view of Mount Etna in front of me. Like it's still blowing my mind that I am in this beautiful apartment in Sicily and I literally just have this epic view of Mount Etna, whether I sit on my balcony or whether I open this window and sit there, it's just there, looming over me and just filling me with so much pride and so much joy and so much happiness that this is the life I've created. And it just feels really, really special. And so I know this lighting isn't ideal, and I know there might be background noise because I've chosen to leave the window open. You can even see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like an Italian flag hanging on the apartment behind in front of me that's like billowing in the wind. So it's just like all of this sentimental value, and I just wanted to capture this moment because I spent the day yesterday out exploring. I went to this seaside town called Castello, and it's basically like beautiful beach. Oh my God, the most bluest crystal clear water you have seen. And it's like below this castle. So the castle is on the cliff face and the sea is just all around it. And you can like go through these caverns and caves. You can pay to go up the castle as well. I didn't do that because my feet hurt anyway. I was like, I don't want to climb. But I just went down to the water and swam in the water, surrounded by Italians, just like listening to them being out there in their pleasure and their joy and living their life. And I was just really feeling like this awe for the lifestyle I've created and just this real deep sense of gratitude and happiness that I am here doing this. And again, I wrote a couple of posts and that's going to inspire the topic of today. I feel like this is just a way that is good for me to share content because I love speaking, I love sharing, but I often have so many thoughts and I write so many things, and then sometimes it's just easier to then just share the things I've written. So some of the things I wrote about today is just like how what if the answer to all our business struggles isn't to do more? What if it's actually to step away and do less so you can spend more time being in life, because that's where the magic happens. And so I was just thinking about like I've gotten in this really beautiful rhythm since being in Sicily, and I've only been here like 4 days and it feels like I've been here for so long because it's just like become so natural and so easy to get into a lifestyle rhythm here. It's not like I'm just working and it's not like I'm just traveling and exploring and I'm not rushed to try and see all the things because I've got enough time and spaciousness here. And that's the way I really am noticing I love to travel, because for me, it is a lifestyle. And my business is a lifestyle. It's a way of merging them both together. And how do I do both really effectively? Well, I give myself time and space, and it's not about cramming and rushing and trying to do so much, which I see a lot of tourists doing. It's like you've got to rush from this place and you've got to go to this place, and you like run yourself off the ground and you try to squeeze all the things in because you've only got 4 days in this place. And it's just like, to me, that's not travel, that's chaos, and that's like really not fun. I like to be able to just go to a place and just be like, okay, today my plan is I'm going here, and that's all I plan. So yesterday I knew I wanted to go to Castello. It's really hot here. I wanted to go to the sea. I wanted to enjoy some time. I didn't know what else was going to be there. I didn't know how long I would want to stay there. So that was my plan for the day. I'm going to this one place, going to catch the bus there, and I'm going to see what happens. And of course, when you're in Sicily, you've got to allow time for them to be running on their schedule. So like I got to the bus stop and the bus was meant to come and it didn't. And then another bus was meant to come and it didn't. And then the original bus that I was planning to get but didn't want to wait for because it was a 40-minute wait is the one I ended up catching because that one came. And so these are things like you have to allow for. And so I did that and I got to this town and I just wandered around and soaked up the magic and just enjoyed being immersed in this lifestyle and enjoying the people and the way they enjoy life. And that's something I always notice in Italy. It's like they've really got this joy de vivere, ad vivere, and they really know how to go slow and they know how to savor the moment. And like something that always warms my heart here is just seeing the men in the parks playing cards. Like you don't need men's circles here because that's just their way of life. Like men gather. That's what they do. It's a common sight. Men on park benches, men playing cards. Like it's everywhere here. And I always love that about Italy, and other parts of Europe too. And so as I was going about my day and just really enjoying it, then of course I was inspired. And so today I was like, okay, I'm going to have a home day. I'm going to get some content up to date. I'm going to do some work and I'm just going to see how I feel for the day. And so I've noticed that I've kind of got in this rhythm where it's like out one day, home one day, out another day, home another day. And I'm already know I'm extending my stay here, so I feel even less rushed now. I'm like, I've got a whole month. I can just take my time and savor it, and I don't have to squeeze all of these things in and try to get them done. And I actually really enjoy just being in the apartment working because it's such an inspiring environment. Like, look at it, it's beautiful. And beyond that window is one of the most beautiful views I have ever seen. Like I've literally got this giant volcano in the distance, just staring over me, just pushing its power at me. Like, how can I not feel that? And how can I not emanate that out when it's just like vibrating all around me and the volcanic ash is just all over the city? Like the first day I got here, I was like, what is this? There's black sand everywhere. And why is it so sandy? And then I realized, I was like, oh, it's the volcano ash. Um, and so it's just such a cool place to be. And so that's kind of how my days go. It's like there's no rush, there's no force, it's flowy, but there's a rhythm. Like I get up, I make my morning espresso, I sit on the balcony, I do my writing, I come inside, I do my dancing, then I decide, is it a home day or is it an out day? And I decide if it's an out day, I decide where I'm going to go, and then I go, and then I just let the day flow. If it's a home day, I go out and get some food supplies for the day from one of the countless panificios and bakeries and patisseries around me. I bring that home and I set up for the day in my beautiful workspace overlooking the beautiful view, and I get to work. And then I always dance as well. I do that, and then I'll decide like maybe I'll go out in the evening because then it's a bit cooler and a bit more bearable to be out and about because it's actually like 5,000 degrees and so hot here. So I also have like a granita and a brioche every day. My heart just feels so at home in Sicily, like everything. I'm just like, oh, it just flows so beautifully. And then I'll either watch the sunset on the balcony or be out for sunset, but it just works. And because I feel so content and so full of life and so vibrant, and I'm just like so open and receptive right now, business is feeling really easy too. And everything's just feeling really abundant. And so I often believe the answer is not more strategy. It's not to throw another band-aid over all the other band-aids. It's to really step away and to let yourself be in life, to feel life, to receive life and be open to it. And when you surrender to that and when you allow yourself to be in that state of receptivity, so much magic happens and business just becomes easy because you're not forcing it. And I think I'm going to have to do a video on the map of consciousness and actually speak to the power versus force theme, because I keep referencing it lately, but I'm like just really noticing it in my being, what a difference it is when you allow that. And also how much more I can accomplish in a day with way more efficiency, working way less hours because I'm focused on things that actually matter. So the thing that I see a lot of people doing is, it's not that they're doing the wrong things necessarily, but it's that they just keep adding more to the list. And it's like, okay, this isn't working, so I'll do more and more and more and more. I'll build this, I'll do this, I'll create this, I'll put this. But rather than having like set things that they do every day with consistency, it's like every day is a new idea and every day is a new thing, and nothing's being stuck to for long enough. So it's not about doing more, and it's not about piling more on the plate. It's about doing more of less things. Just let that sink in. So choosing specific things, and they being the things you focus on, but you focus on them and do them more, so you get the reps in, so you actually get to see the results. So for instance, the non-negotiables for me is every day showing up and creating content. That is the thing that I know connects me to the audience. That's the thing that brings leads in. That's the thing that is then going to also be in the back end, like different content in the back end. But for my group programs and for things like that, there's content in there. So for me, content is my non-negotiable. Every single day I do something content related, and I have a really solid routine around that now, which involves me getting up, doing my journaling, doing my dancing, getting in my body, blocking out the external noise, being present with me so that I'm in that intuitive flow, and whatever comes through is what's going to create my content. And that's how I write so much. And that's why the writing is what I just do in the moment when it's alive. I then write and I'm like, okay, my content is done for the day. And then sometimes on a day when I'm home and I'm feeling inspired, then I'll be like, actually, you know what? That was a really good topic. I want to actually go deeper on it. I want to film a video about it. And then that's the result that happens here, is then a video forms. And then from a bigger video like this, that can then turn into snippets, which then go on Instagram. And so this thing that used to be this really hard task, that's like, oh my God, how am I ever going to have enough to talk about? How am I going to post on all these platforms? How am I going to reach people? How am I going to speak to people? Is actually the simplest thing, because I'm literally creating one piece every day. And then that one piece can go many, many, many other ways. And so that is my non-negotiable. My non-negotiable is content. And it's not that I'm doing so much more stuff now. It's that I'm just doing it in a really structured, systemized way that works for me. And so this is what you may need to implement in your business too, is how can you actually create a system around what you need to do to make it easy and to make it consistent, and so that it's not forced. Like, none of this is difficult for me. None of this is forced for me, because it's just coming so naturally, because it's just me expressing myself and sharing what's alive and sharing how my business weaves in with my life. And because I'm out there living my life, I've got more to talk about, which inspires my business. So can you see how it all ties together? And it's not about doing more. It's often about stripping back and simplifying and coming to what is the core thing that I need to focus on that's going to move the needle the most. What is gonna clear the bottlenecks? So I've spoken about bottlenecks before. It's like, well, what's the thing in your business that's the block? If it is leads and if it's connection, then content is one of the most important things to focus on. So if that's something you're avoiding, how do you expect anything to shift? And same as connection, if you're not actually out there connecting with people, how do you expect things to shift? So it's not about doing more things to create busy work and to hide from the things you need to be doing. It's about getting rid of all of that excess stuff that isn't creating value and isn't moving your business forward, and getting down to the core of, okay, what are the things I actually really need to focus on right now that are going to move the needle forward and have the impact and actually give me more time and space and freedom to be out there enjoying my life, so that I'm in a state where I actually can do the things I need to do, and it doesn't feel hard and it doesn't feel forced, because it's just moving through me, because I'm so in life, so inspired, so moved that I want to show up. Because that's what business should be. Like, you're in business because it's something you love, it's something you're passionate about, there's people you want to help, there's a message you've got to serve. And if you're not feeling that, it's because something deep down is not connected. And so the answer isn't to pile on more strategy and to go learn more things and to be all up here in the head. It's to get down and get in here and get connected to this, and what is it that I am here to do, and how can I actually share that with people and be inspired and show up from that state. So that, I feel, is the end. Thank you for watching.